What is going on, guys? It is Mike, AOD81, and we are getting into video number 21 on our Lords of the Fallen walkthrough. And if you've been following along, we're halfway through the Tower of Penance, but we came back to Skyrest after we got the final rune tablet. And as you can see, things are a little bit different, as in I have my main weapon in my left hand now, and I have this giant hammer in my right. At the end of the last video, we ended up getting the crafter's essence. Sparky is gone because Gerlinda turned him into our rune. But let me show you what I did with that rune real quick. I put it into this Holy Grand Hammer, and this hammer is massive. It weighs 30 some pounds, but by putting it in there, it made it weigh nothing. So I ended up equipping it into my main slot, and I put my my previous main weapon in my second slot. So, and I am also, because of that rune that's in Devotion's Might, you see it negates the stat requirements. It also takes the weight to 0. So since it weighs nothing, I'm well in medium encumbrance still. So I'm also still dual wielding. I still have my moveset that I like. And so now we're ready to warp back to our seedling and start attacking the second half of the Tower of Penance. Oh, the other thing that I did do was on my Devotion's Might hammer, I used some bigger skulls that I had, and I upgraded it all the way to 10. So you can see just this hammer alone is doing 933 damage right now, and my secondary weapon is doing almost 500. So I'm interested to see if we start melting our enemies away. So let's go ahead and warp on back to our seedling, and we'll get into the second half of the Tower of Penance. Now we have that door open, so we can just go in through the main level and pick up where we left off. These enemies in there did respawn, so I will have to kill them again. Definitely different. Do a little magic heal. He'd be dead already if he didn't have an umbral butterfly. Oh, there's another archer? That's alright. Okay. So I'll pick that drop up. It's the Ardent Penitent Torso Chains. I'm not sure I had that before or not. But now we are ready to go down to the second half of the Tower of Penance, and you'll see that there's a ladder right over here. So we're going to climb on down it. And we just want to check all... Whoa! Hopefully he ran off. He did, but he didn't completely die, so he'll be waiting for me down there. And now some archers are aggroed. Oh, there's one on my level, that's why. So we just want to check these rooms, make sure we're not missing any items real quick. I don't think there is an item or anything on this level. Okay, so now we can just go down our ladder. Where is that archer? That arrow seemed like it came from above. Okay. Anyway, we'll go ahead and continue down our next ladder. Okay, there's an archer right there on the other side. In this room, there is a dedicated item. That's going to be a couple of faint vigor skulls. And there's the ardent penitent that fell down but didn't die. Right here, there is a spot you could drop a seed, but I don't really see a need for it. So we got our item out of, I believe it was in this room. So now we can just fall down here. I'll go ahead and finish him off. Fall down to the next plank. And there's going to be a couple enemies below. One's an archer in that room over there. And one is going to be that carrion knight. I was able to get him with a drop attack. And remember, sometimes these enemies, the ones that we encounter after the main boss fight, sometimes they reincarnate, sometimes they don't. I don't think this one's gonna reincarnate. Usually if you hold out your lamp, they glow. So we came down to this level. I'm gonna wait for this poison to dissipate because there is a dedicated item in this room. That's gonna be the bramble ring, so that's a trophy item. Where am I at health-wise? Okay, I'm full health. Once we've gotten our item out of that room, we killed the archer that was right there. Across there, you'll see that there's a carrion knight walking away. There's also one to the left. Once he walks away a little bit, I'm gonna go in and attack the one on the left. Yeah, that hammer kind of interrupted your attack there, didn't it? Okay, he's down, but he may reincarnate. Let's see what this hammer does with holy attached to it. It smited him right as it killed him. I'm just gonna go down here and make sure this guy didn't reincarnate. And he didn't. The second one still might. Yeah, there he goes. I'll just go ahead and cast this and get my health back. I can go ahead and run through the poison without getting poisoned. I believe there is an archer up here. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so if we continue all the way down to the end of the room, there's a dedicated item right here. That's going to be enhanced poisoning knife. That's a throwable ammunition, so that goes towards the ammunition trophy. And you'll also see that there's a lever right here that we want to pull. That's going to pull those chains up and allow us to drop through to the next level down. And as we're walking out, you'll also see that there's an item hanging from that corpse up there. So we're going to shoot it down. And we'll go ahead and pick that up. That's going to be Empowering Claw. That's a fist weapon, but I believe this is the only place you get it. In subsequent playthroughs, if you turn the random loot modifier on, I think you do pick up more of those actually. But either way, we've got it, so it's in our inventory. Now we're going to walk back out here, and we're going to fall to the next level. There is going to be an archer on this level, so we want to get rid of him. He just dropped his bow, and there's also an item over here. So this is a dedicated item. That's going to be the Pious Tinct. And let's just take a look at it real quick. There it is. What do I have equipped right now? Oh well, I think it might be Dark Oath or something, but that's kind of similar, but just a little more purpley, I guess. No, it wasn't Dark Oath. Harbinger. I like that. We'll go with that. That might have been what it was. Okay, so that obviously goes towards the Tinct trophy. Now that we've cleared the archer from this level is, yeah, there's a breakable wall right there if you want to drop a seed, but I don't really see the need to. But we dropped down here from that level, and now we're gonna walk over here to where we killed the archer, but turn left and there's a ladder. This will take us down to the next level. And in this room, there's a Carrion Knight over here. Okay, so he is down. We'll see if he's gonna respawn. No, he's not gonna respawn because we just got all his vigor. But in the room that he's in, there's a lever right there. I think we can go ahead and pull it without getting poisoned. So we'll pull that. And that brought that chain up, which exposes a ladder right there. So now we can go down our ladder. And yeah, there's an about in this first room to the right. Just a minor holy salts drop, and then a dedicated item right here. That's the Assassin's Bow. I think this is the only spot you get it on a first playthrough. I think it is dropped with random loot modifiers on subsequent playthroughs, but we have it. So out here you'll see there's a Carrion Knight in the middle. When I fight, sometimes I lock on, sometimes I don't. When you're not locked, you're kind of able to control the direction of your attacks a little bit more. But I want to lock on to this guy just to make sure I don't fall off while I'm fighting him. So we'll run around and lock on. And just try to stay locked on in case we need to dodge or something so it doesn't throw us off the beam. We ended up knocking him off the beam with our giant hammer. So on this level, I don't think there are any other items. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this level. So we got our one item and killed the Carrion Knight. I believe that was actually a blessed Carrion Knight. And they do rarely drop their armor and their headpiece. And they're different from the regular Carrion Knights. The way to tell the difference is the blessed Carrion Knight has a helmet with a big long bird nose kind of shape. Like the main mini-boss one that we fought did. But that was one of the armor pieces that I did end up having to farm when I was going for the armor trophy. I had just about everything when I started farming, but I didn't have that, and this is one of the only places of the game that there are blessed Carrion Knights. So I ended up coming here and Had to come down and fight this one, I think maybe 10 or so times before he dropped it. But anyway, that's for the Blessed Carrion Knight. So we'll go ahead and go down our ladder. And there's an archer down here. And another Carrion Knight. And that other one is, I think, the one that fell. I thought he died, but apparently he has very minimal health. So we'll take care of that real quick. So either one could respawn. That one won't because I just got his vigor. That one is going to respawn, it looks like. So... Oh, he hit me first. I'm also poisoned, so I'll just cast that. Get my health back. Now, was this the Carrion Knight's drop? No, that was a dedicated item. That's the Enhanced Banner Javelin of Protection. That's actually a trophy ammunition. Where's it at? These are some of the other throwable ammunitions that we've been picking up, but there it is, the Enhanced Banner Javelin of Protection. So we've got a lot of our ammunition towards our ammunition trophy, but we'll be getting everything along the way. There is a drop from the Carrion Knight. So we got his staff. And there is also a lever right here, and it's going to pull those chains right in front of us up. And when we fall down here, this is going to be the bottom level of the Tower of Penance. When we first go down, there's a hallway with an archer and an avowed. Pick up his item. There's a dedicated item at this altar right here. We'll pick up that Radiant Purifier Catalyst. I don't think that's the catalyst I want. I want the Exactor Scripture. But this one is actually more powerful than the one I have now. But it only allows for 3 spell slots. So I'm gonna keep Will Marks for now because it's not... Yeah, Will Marks has because I'm at level 10 on it. This is at level 9, but even so, I've got a Radiance A rating on Will Marks, and it's what, around 440, and this is around 500. So I mean, well, not really, 475-ish. So I'm gonna stick with this one until we can get our Exactor Scripture. So that will be that. I'm going to go ahead and stick with this catalyst, but you definitely wanted to pick up this catalyst. It goes towards your weapons trophy. There's also a dedicated item over here in the fireplace. And we're not able to get into there for now, but we do want to go down this hall where we took out our Avowed and our Archer. And you'll see there's a Stigma up there. So we're going to go ahead and pop Umbral. Pop our Stigma.
Ivan.
I'm going to...
Ivan.
Oh, no, I won't, because my mana is low, and I'm not going to use a stone for this little area. We're just going to climb these ladders, and there's going to be a fairy up here while our Stigma's playing. Okay, she's knocked off. This is just the drop from the ferry. But this is going to be a saintly quintessence, so we're going to be able to upgrade our sanguinarics. So now we'll just walk back down. We just got our umbral scouring from the stigma. We'll just fall towards the right, fall towards the right. And we can exit umbral right here, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to be throwing a seed here in a second. As we continue down this way, we already got those 2 items behind us, got everything out there, so we're going to walk down this way, and you'll see a spot to throw a seed. We're going to go ahead and throw a seed because as we go down to the bottom, we're going to have a major boss fight, and this is going to be a fight that we have to summon Kukujin for. But since we have our upgrade, I'm going to go ahead and warp to Skyrest really quick. And I'm going to talk to Pieta and upgrade our sanguinarics.
Fellow sanctified vessel, may Aureus' divine radiance flow through me and into you.
Okay, if you remember, we also picked up the Perception Wisp, which we could go progress Dunmire right now, but I'll save that because we're going to have to come back to Skyrest and pay Kukujin here in a bit anyway, so we'll just head on back to our seedling. Our sanguinarics just upgraded the amount of health that it heals. We don't have 8 yet. That'll be our next upgrade, but let me see, am I right? If I'm right, does it eventually turn to 3? Yeah, so now it's gonna take 3 saintly quintessences to upgrade. So we'll need 3 before we can come back and upgrade next time. But we'll go ahead and warp back to our seedling. And which way am I headed? We want to go down. Down, down, down. And you can see we have our summons. Looks like the Iron Wayfarer. I think this is Damarose because we haven't done our... We've been progressing her quest, but that's gonna have to come to an end soon. But yeah, we have a few. There's Stoneman. We should have Pieta still. But we are getting the Kukujin quest, so we want to beckon Kukujin. Even though it sucks, but we want this quest out of the way and we want the trophy on this run because we're maximizing all the trophies and getting our Umbral ending, which is the hardest ending as well. It's the hardest ending, but it's also a required ending to get some Umbral specific quests out of the way. So once we open this door, it's going to trigger our boss fight, and he is going to have an Umbral Parasite protecting him. So that's the first thing I'm going to do, is try to focus on taking that out. But I tell you what, I'm going to swap spots here for my Mana Stones, just in case I need to quickly access my large stones and get my magic back up. But I'm gonna go ahead and buff my weapon, and then I'm gonna equip my lamp and get ready to fight. This is gonna be Tancred. So he's got an Umbral Parasite. Got that. I completely missed him. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage from him with this hammer. When he does that, he's gonna fire some bolts at you, so just run or dodge. He does do that, which I wasn't ready for, but oh, he's blocking. Get out of there before my invulnerability wears off. Smited him. Okay, now this is a 2-stage boss, so now we're gonna enter the second stage. On this second stage, if you focus on his arms or legs, it will knock him into it'll stagger him where you can get a critical hit. So that's what we want to focus on. I'm gonna buff my weapon again. Initially, I think he's gonna jump at us. Maybe not. He's gonna spit some fire. Heal real quick. That's not what I wanted. I dodged that, and I'm gonna focus on his legs. So you can see that staggered him. I want to lock on, and then I'm gonna get a critical hit. Now I want to focus on the legs. And that just staggered him again. So I'm going to lock on in the center of his body and get a critical hit. And that's going to do it for him. So that was Tancred / Reinhold. And that is complete. Now, obviously, if we were not already in Umbral, we would want to pop Umbral so we can get this Stigma. That's going to come along with Tancred's Remembrance. And if we go towards that altar, the first room to the right, we can open this door by using the Tancred key. And this is going to be Stoneman's Flickering Flail weapon. You can only get one of these. You need it for your trophy, for your all weapons trophy, but you can only ever get one. You'll never have two of those. It doesn't reappear anywhere else. That's the only spot you get it from, and you can only get it once. And as far as this Stigma, it is a long Stigma, so I would let it play out to make sure we get our Scourings and our Remembrance. I've triggered it before and then run up and then started to take the elevator up, and I got too far away from it before it stopped, so I didn't get credit for it. So we'll just let it play out for a minute. Okay. Now we've got our Scouring from it and our Remembrance. None of the other doors or anything open. It's just that one, the first door to the right of the altar up there is where we got our Flickering Flail. So we can go ahead and exit here. And I don't know why, but, well, I guess it's the candles. Yeah, as soon as we walk through here, all those candles light up. But anyway, that's insequential. I'll just pop that since we're in Umbral. Why not? But I am back at our seed. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to go right back to Skyrest and make sure we pay Kukujin. We do not want to mess this quest up, because then we would have to start it all over on another playthrough, and it's a very long, tedious quest. So we're gonna talk to her, pay her
A
7,500
pleasure.
vigor.
The wise always. I help you. Just be sure to. If you don't, and neither of us.
And now she is progressed and waiting for the next fight. Andreas should still be in the same progression point we already had him. Pieta might have new dialogue.
That stone.
We can use the odd stone. It
When I
gives
was
us
a
some
girl,
dialogue,
the
but unless we're
orphanage,
wielding
there was a very
the
kind woman.
Pieta's
Iris.
sword and Elion's
She gave it to
sword,
me.
it doesn't do anything. So it's inconsequential. Now, like I said, we do have Dunmire's Perception Wisp. If I give it to him, well, he doesn't disappear right away. So this is going to be his final item. I'm not going to give him to him yet, but we're going to look at his shop, and anything that he has in his shop, like this pendant, that we haven't bought yet, you might want to buy it now, because after we give him the Perception Wisp, he is going to disappear.
To strive in darkness, in light we walk.
But I'm going to go ahead and give him the Perception Wisp. And let's just see if there's anything new in his shop. Let's talk to him again. Okay, now he just talks, he just keeps saying, I must descend every time you talk to him. While we're here, I also want to take a look at Tancred's Remembrance. Because actually in my main character, I do use some of Tancred's armor. Obviously these spells you want to get. Let me see. I'm gonna buy the armor and just see what it looks like compared to what I have on. I think in my main build I like the body armor and the gauntlets. But obviously you want to get both of these spells. I'll just grab the Radiance one. The Inferno one won't serve me. But on a first playthrough, you definitely want to grab all the spells from the Remembrances. Just so you have them. Once you get a spell on a subsequent playthrough, when you open a Remembrance, you won't be able or won't have to buy it again. Once a spell's in your inventory, it's in there, and you can't get two. So, like I said, well, I would get all spells from every NPC, and his Man-Catcher, I believe, has a special move set for it. But yeah, why is it saying increase your radiance? My radiance is above 20. But that's just for insight. That's just to be able to read the lore. Do I want to buy the helmet and look at what it does compared? Nah, I'll keep the helmet that I'm using right now, I think. But I will just take a look at the armor set. Yeah, I'm gonna use that armor set, I think. It's a lot different from the armor set I have on now. It has, oops, I didn't mean to do that. So it's got 62 more physical mitigation, my fire resistance would go way up, but my holy goes way down. So, you know what? I might want to keep the armor set that I have on now for this part of the game, and then at the end of the game it's more fire oriented, so I might switch to Tankreds towards the end of the game. We'll see, but the armor set I have now is okay. So let's take a look at the gauntlets. My fire defense goes up some with the gauntlets. Yeah, I'll go ahead and switch to those gauntlets. So we switched to the gauntlets, so let me just change the gauntlet color to match the tint that I already have on. And Dunmire is progressed, so if we go over here and rest, he should disappear. Yeah, so he is gone. We can... first of all, we have a couple of levels. We already paid Kukujin. Right? Yeah, I hope. I'll take Radiance up 1, and I'm gonna take Endurance up 1 to take my stamina up a little bit. So... yeah, that looks good to me. So that's what we'll do there, to go ahead and progress Dunmire. Where he just warped to is the mines. I'm just trying to remember the quickest way to get to him. I think it's through this first. And we have the key to get into that door, but we'll take care of that a little bit later. We're gonna run down this way. I'm just gonna run away from him. We're gonna run straight through this gate. Or did we? Actually, we might have to run this way. Take care of him. Up the steps. Up this hallway. Where we're trying to get is that area that had the stigma. I think it's right up here. Walk through the door with our lamp. Run around the corner. And we fall. Once we fall down here, we'll take care of the enemies that spawn. Then this spot will blow up the bombs. And then try to walk across without getting sent into Umbral. I was able to just hop across there. Not that it matters, because if you go into Umbral here, there's an Umbral exit right there, but there is Dunmire. So now we want to come here and talk to
The
him.
past, this darkness, and yet how can must exact that is what I'm to my mind, but no poison.
And you can
It
see
is
he's kind of
close.
gone a little
It
bit
is
crazy.
close. It is close. It is close.
Okay. So now he has progressed to his next progression point. Let me see. I'm just going to go ahead and use a vestige moth to get back to our vestige. I've got 24 of them, so yeah, that should be fine. I'll go ahead and use one of those. Dunmire is progressed. And now we'll go ahead and we'll do our first step towards our Umbral ending. We could wait to do this, but since we just progressed Dunmire, we are going to warp back down to the depths. And this is going to be where we fought Dervala. And I'm not going to worry about that lamp. It'll be an enemy up there. So I'm just going to run down to the arena where that well area was that we couldn't get into before. But now we have already bought the clump, the Umbral Scouring clump from Molehue. So now we'll be able to get in. And also, you'll see there's an item here now. This item appeared here because of what we just did in the mines. If you come here and you haven't progressed Dunmire the way that we just did, this item won't be here yet. So we're going to go ahead and pick that up. That's going to have his ring and his rosary. That ring, the exact ring, I believe that's the only place that that you can get it, and it doesn't appear. Yeah, that's the only way you can get it, is by doing his quest. You can't find it anywhere out in the world, even with randomized loot modifiers on subsequent playthroughs. So that's a trophy item for our rings and pendants. And now, since we have this, was the damage standard for Stomand. That's the rosary we just picked up and some keys that we got. But we bought this Umbral Scouring clump from Molehue for 50 scourings. So now we can get in here. We'll hand over the Umbral Scouring clump. And now we can get into Mother's Lull. And even though this is our first time here, Dunmire is here. If you enter here before the progression that we just did, he will not be here. So just be aware of that the only reason he's here is because we just progressed him and then went to the mines and progressed him from there, and this is his next progression point. So we'll go ahead and talk to him.
Attend me, bring your sword, glory the mask and this.
He's kind of gone crazy. And the deranged laughter is the last we'll get out of him. He'll no longer be a merchant or anything like that. That's why I said at Skyrest, before you give him that perception wisp and rest, you can give him the wisp, but before you rest or anything after that, make sure you buy anything that he has in his shop that you might want. Now, the actual purpose of this Mother's Lull area is strictly for the Umbral ending. And the first time we visit here, we're going to interact with this guy, and he's going to give us an Umbral seed pod. That's Damarose's seed pod, and when we go to use that, I'll explain a little bit more about it. So now, Dunmire, his quest is pretty much done. We're gonna, now that we've gotten the seed pod and we progressed Dunmire, we're gonna go ahead and exit Mother's Law and run on back to our vestige. Run, 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 run. We'll pop those. Run, run, run. Back to our vestige, and now we're gonna go back to the mines. And now that we have completely progressed Dunmire from the mines vestige, we're going to turn around and walk down this pathway where we first entered the mines area. And there's going to be an item here now, and that's going to be all of Dunmire's gear. The Exactor Scripture, which is the catalyst I want, his cane, all of his gear. That's going to go towards your weapons and armor trophies, so his quest is complete. That should have also popped a trophy. I can't remember if the trophy pops when we talk to him in Mother's Law or when you pick this up. I believe it's when you pick this item up that you actually get the trophy for completing his quest. And now that we have our Exactor Scripture, we're going to go ahead and equip it. And lucky for me, it's already upgraded to +10. The one advantage that I do have, if you look in the upper right hand corner, even though this is my first playthrough, because it's not my main character, I do have the pre-upgraded loot modifier on. That was just to speed things up for me. So any loot that I've picked up as I've upgraded my stuff, the armor, or I'm sorry, not the armor, the weapons that I've been picking up were always already upgraded to the level of my main weapon. So I did have a slight advantage, being that I didn't have to individually upgrade each weapon to its full level. Now that I had already upgraded my catalyst to level 10, and I have a weapon that's at level 10, any weapon that I pick up from here on out will already be at level 10. If this is truly a first playthrough, you wouldn't have that advantage. You only get a few Duralium chunks in the game, I think either 3 or 4. So there's basically 3 or 4 pieces of gear on a first playthrough that you can take all the way to level 10. But again, that was just for speed, so I didn't have to waste time farming vigor just to upgrade a weapon. So yeah, I did have that slight advantage over somebody that's just going through this the first time. But anyway, I have my Exactor Scripture. I'm going to go ahead and equip it, and along with that comes with an extra spell slot. I'm going to take my Sanctify and equip it on Triangle, because that's how I have it set up on my main character. That's what I'm used to. And what do I want to put in here right now? This aura of tenacity gives you a defensive aura, but it constantly drains mana, and since I don't have my regenerative rings, I'm not gonna use that too much. This is a pretty decent spell, even though the cost is pretty heavy. This one isn't quite as good, but it doesn't cost near as much. So for now, until I get the spell that I normally use, I'll go ahead and equip that Divine Arms. But we should be getting my normal spell here pretty soon. So now that took care of Dunmire. That should have been his quest. Everything should be done with him. We should have gotten a trophy for that. And he is all set. So now I can just run back towards my vestige. And how much time do we have? That's probably gonna do it for a time. Like I said, now we can go through that Sunless Skyne area. We're gonna want to do that. We'll probably run through that area real quick. It's a self-contained little area, but we'll go ahead and get that out of the way on our next video since we're here. And let me see, is there... Well, let's do one more thing real quick. I'm gonna warp to Shrine, where Damaros is. And as I said, we've already progressed her as far as we can. The last step would be giving her the Light Reaper flesh to consume. But we can't do that for the Umbral ending, because we need the Light Reaper flesh for another reason. And, yeah, so, before we even get the Light Reaper flesh, because I don't want to take the chance that if I have the flesh, it only gives me the option to give her the flesh. I want to make sure I'm able to use the seed pod. When I use this seed pod on Damaros, it's going to take her out of the game completely. It's going to kill her. But we're going to go ahead and do that because she's completely progressed. Now, on your subsequent playthroughs, you're going to want to complete her quest, which in order to do that, you would do everything we have done up to this point, and then after we fight the Light Reaper, we would get the Light Reaper flesh, and then we would come back here and talk to her and give her the Light Reaper flesh, and that's the last item you have to give her. After you do that, she moves on to her next progression point, her final progression point, which would be in Castle Brahmis at the end of the game. And when we get there, I would point it out. Now, alternatively, you also have to fight her as a boss to get your Fight Every Boss trophy. Now, that's automatically going to happen when you go for your Radiance ending. So on your Inferno run, you're going to want to complete her quest, take it as far as we have, plus give her the Light Reaper flesh. That'll take her to her next progression point, and then you would talk to her at her last progression point, which I will point out where that is because it's the same spot that you would fight her in your Radiance run. When you're doing your Radiance run, as soon as you cleanse a beacon, she's going to disappear as an NPC from the game. But at the end of the game in Brahma's Castle, she's automatically going to reappear as a boss fight. So you'll complete her quest in the Inferno run to get her trophy and all of her gear as well, because there is one piece of gear that you get from completing her quest that you don't get from fighting her in the Radiance ending. But on your Radiance ending, you'll automatically fight her. So you want to do both of those things on different runs. But we are going for Umbral. So we're going to look at her inventory, make sure there's nothing she has that we want. I'll go ahead and buy the spell. I've been telling you guys to buy all the spells. When you do complete her quest, there might be one more spell, or it's possible that at her final point there's another spell. I can't remember, but you'll see when you complete that quest. So now that we've gotten that spell, we'll just go ahead and use the seed pod on her, and that's going to be the first step of our Umbral ending. And she is done for. So now we can warp back to the mines. Actually, we've got a couple minutes, so we'll just go ahead and warp back to depths real quick. And we'll run back down towards Mother's Law. Run, 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 run out of stamina, run, 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 run. We're gonna enter Mother's Law. And we're gonna go talk to our friend again. And now that we've used Damaro's seed pod, he's gonna give us another one. This is going to be Gerlinda's. Now we do not want to use it. We're gonna exit the lull and head back towards our vestige. Now that we have the seed pod, this is a step towards the Umbral ending, getting that seed pod. When we talk to Gerlinda at Skyrest, it's going to give us the option to give her the seed pod, or to use the seed pod on her. You want to do nothing until you have gotten any weapons upgraded. Yeah, we won't have to use that seed pod for a while here yet. So you just want to make sure that when you talk to her, you don't accidentally give it to her, because we want to make sure that we get all our weapons upgraded and as far as we're going to need them until we give her that seed pod, because she's obviously going to die and we won't have access to her anymore. And since we gave the rune tablet to her, we don't have Sparky's knowledge, so we won't be able to upgrade or change runes once we use the seed pod. But that's not going to come for a little while yet. We're going to go ahead and end our video here. We're just going to warp back to the mines, and on our next video, we will go ahead and take out the... Are we already at mines? No, we're not. We're going to go ahead and take care of the Sunless Skyne area and get it out of the way, because it's a standalone area right here, and we were just here to complete Dunmire's quest. So we will see you in the next one. I appreciate it, guys. If this is helping you, like and subscribe, share the video with other people you know that are playing the game, because we're getting it all. So on our next video, we will go towards that door and we will start off with taking care of the Sunless Skyne area. So thanks a lot, guys, and I will see you on the next one. See ya!